Hello, we're in week 4 already. Hard to believe we've come to week 4. Anyway, this week we're going to read about cognitive development of infants and toddlers. And you're going to be reading chapter 7 in Trawick. Trawick goes into a great deal of detail when it comes to Piaget's theories of how infants and toddlers develop. When you look at the substages, you'll see there are 6 substages. Now, as far as I'm concerned, when you're looking at the video to complete this week's assignment, I don't think there's any baby on there that's in substage 1 or substage 2. If you can find a baby that's in that substage, good for you. But when I watch that video, I really do not see that. But I do see babies in substage 3, 4, 5, and 6. So have fun with that. It's a very cute video, and I think you'll enjoy it. So that's what you're going to be doing for your assignment, is identifying why they're in those substages, and then what you as a teacher could do to really build on their development and move them on to further development just by playing and interacting in your classroom. They also give you a very good idea of Vygotsky and infant-toddler development. And interestingly, and I kind of appreciate this, is they give you a little bit of information about why not everybody agrees with Piaget. He's so well known, and it's generally assumed he's such an authority on child development, but not everyone agrees with him. So I think it'll be interesting for you to see, well, some people don't. One thing, I'm kind of a really practical lady, and I wanted to throw in some really practical thoughts that I have on cognitive development of this age group. So therefore, the PowerPoint, and this PowerPoint is included on the announcement page. You just click on it. So when you have 12-month-olds in your classroom, basically their cognitive development allows them to explore things in different ways. They're going to bang, shape, throw things. They can find hidden things. Peekaboo is a big favorite. They look at the right picture or thing when it's named. They'll point, perhaps. They can follow simple directions. They can copy your gestures. They wave bye-bye. They begin to use things correctly. They're learning how to drink from a sippy cup. They're practicing brushing or combing their hair. They can bang things together to make sounds, and they like to put things in containers and take them out. That's pretty much typical at that age group of 12 months. Then when you go on to the 24-month-olds, they're not just taking things in and out of containers, they're sorting them. But it's by one characteristic. It'll be by shape or color, it could be by size, the big things here, the little things there. They like to complete sentences and rhymes in familiar books. They play simple make-believe games. They can build 4-block towers. And they're beginning to show handedness, even though true handedness does not come in till later. And they can follow 2-step directions, such as pick up your shoes, put them in the closet, or go get your jacket and put it on. 2-step directions. And then we have real advancement here for the 36-month-olds. By the time they're 3, they can do buttons, they can push levers, they can move moving parts, they can play make-believe, they do puzzles, they know what two-ness looks like. They can copy a circle with a pencil or crayon. It's not going to be perfect, but they're making an attempt to copy. They can turn book pages one at a time without tearing them out. They can build towers of 6 blocks or more, and they can screw and unscrew jar lids, and they can open door handles. It's not always a benefit, but they can do it. Okay. So you will also probably see children that have some sort of a cognitive delay, and they do discuss this to a little extent in the chapter, but I just wanted to add a little bit more. You know, the Center for Disease Control tells us that cognitive delays occur in approximately 12 of every 1,000 children, and it'll range all the way from mild to profound. I feel like this is a really high number. The most common causes are genetic conditions, pregnancy-related conditions, birth conditions, and health conditions. And some signs that you may see in your classroom, because a lot of times teachers of very young children are able to spot things that are not progressing normally. Normal has a wide range, but we need to be aware of what the range is. And when we see something that's way outside the developmental range, then we call it to someone's attention. And sometimes the teacher is the first one to do that. Because if you have, say, a first-time parent who really is not aware of what the average range for some developmental milestones might look like, then you may be the first person to sound the alarm and say, you know, I'm noticing this and I am concerned. So it's important to do that and speak up, because the earlier a child receives help, the better it is for the child. So some things that you may notice in a 2-year-old classroom that should cause you worry and some extra attention to see what's going on. If the child is unable to self-feed with minimal mess, I mean, we expect mess when a 2-year-old eats, but minimal. Unable to successfully drink from a glass or cup, unable to express when a diaper needs changing, unable to remove some articles of clothing, such as shoes and socks. Normally, they're really anxious to take those off, but if they can't, that's a little troubling. A child that sits, crawls, or walks later than other children. This being said, there's a wide range of development when children sit and crawl and walk. There are some 6-month-olds who crawl, and then some children don't crawl till 9 or 10 months, and they're perfectly fine. There are some children who walk at 1, and other children who walk more, like at 18 months. Wide developmental range. But if you get a 2-year-old that's still not walking, then please sound the alarm. Again, with talking, most of the time they have a few words by the time they're 1. Some children don't talk until they're well beyond 2, and some of them are 3. And there's nothing at all wrong with them. But if you have a child that's 24 months old and has almost no words, that they are expressing that expressive language, and to make matters worse, when they do not seem to understand what you're saying to them, the receptive language, then comes a time when you need to draw the parent's attention to that and say, I am noticing this. Have you noticed this too? And then the recommendations to have the child evaluated by their doctor. Again, all children of this age group have a short attention span. That's just normal. I mean, I have a short attention span. I'm a lot older than that. But if you have a child that can't look at you more than a second or two, and then they're off to do something else, that would be a cause for noticing and seeing what else is a problem, because it's usually not just one thing. And if you have a child that lacks curiosity, you know, they're perfectly fine. You sit them down there and you give them one toy, they'll sit there for an hour and play with that toy. That's worrisome to me, because just by virtue of the fact that they're 2 years old and that they are, you know, they have a short attention span, they should be anxious to move on and explore other things within a few minutes. So those are just a few things that I feel, you know, you need to pay attention to. And I'm not sure the chapter brought this out as clearly as I would have liked. So I'm adding my own 2 cents. And then now what? Well, you want to make sure that you talk to the parent, you get as much information about the child as you possibly can. And then you want to make sure you recommend the medical exam. Obviously, you're not in a position to do it, but you want to recommend it. You want to recommend some kind of a physical exam. You want to look at developmental assessment done by specialists. These are all just suggestions. Obviously, all you're going to do is suggest to the family. Hearing test, vision screening, all important things just to suggest for evaluation. Again, the earlier the child receives some sort of intervention, if there is a problem, the better for the child's eventual development. So that's all I had to say. I hope you have a wonderful week. If you have any questions, please let me know. We'll set up a Zoom appointment and we will visit. Bye.